Welcome to Happy Doggo Land here in Thailand. This is a dog sanctuary that I've built over the last 18 months. And what I'm going to do today is just guide you through a day-to-day basis. We're going to meet some amazing dogs and see what's happening here in the jungle at Happy Doggo Land. Brittany. We're not finished yet, eh? Come on! We're obviously in the middle of the jungle. There's no water here whatsoever. I often think that Thailand's one of the most dangerous countries. Snakes, we have seen cobras. We're battling the monsoon at the moment.
6 a.m. Good morning. Hi, darling. 6 a.m. Brittany's out on the walk. It's going to be a great day.
Morning is the busiest time of the day. Look at this. There's specials. Here comes Solo. Here comes Stitchy. Tommy. Come on, Buster. Big boy.
Now, a lot of people wonder what happens day to day. A few people have actually said to me, oh, you must just put the dogs in there and you can just leave them. But they actually take a lot of care and maintenance. So feeding them is the first step of the day.
Okay, it's raining at breakfast time, so we're just going to get these out as quickly as possible. Everybody's starving. Let's go. Oh, delicious. Like the rain, breakfast delivery, room service. They ripped up their pillows, probably because there was a bit of lightning during the night.
They all get fresh food, which we cook. A lovely lady called Pifa cooks it. So they all have a really nice fresh diet.
Buster, you can't eat out of there, Buster. You can't eat out of there.
First thing in the morning, the dogs are hyper. They're absolutely hyper. They want to walk, they want to eat. For about an hour, they're like teenagers, especially the likes of Stitch here, who's still growing. And what we do is we put them in packs of little friends. So the teenagers are high energy. They love to eat and run.
Buster, come on, we'll go, come on. Let's go. Mr. Stitch. Number 2 over here. Number 3 over here. Oh, number 4. Chaos at the breakfast table. Now I'm trying to get Hank to go for a walk, but he refuses during the rain. We're only trying to go for a walk. You don't like the rain, do you? You can do your toilet later.
Now, the most important thing that we do here is looking after very sick dogs, and they don't really get much more sick than Shaq here. Shaq is a street dog, but he's got a huge mass on him here. So the brilliant thing about the sanctuary is we can take him off the streets. It's taken 3 vet visits so far. Luckily, it's not cancerous. So after 3 weeks of waiting, that lump is going to come off. You can see it's dragging down on his whole eye. Must be incredibly painful for him. But this sanctuary means that we've got a place for him to relax, have his medicines, and if he recovers for a week here, Shaq will be back on the streets as healthy as can be. One of the things that a lot of people ask us is, why are the dogs spread out? Now, Lana's got big, massive Hank the Tank, and I've got Brittany. Brittany was a fighting dog. She was so vicious when we first found her. Actually, me and you found her. So she bit people, bit other dogs. The squabbles and the fights will often happen around food.
Hey!
Tommy! But we split them out. Like, I have Brittany on a lead now because we're filming. She's liable, she's still got 10% where she could launch herself at somebody. And Big Hank, even though he's the scariest looking, I think he's the friendliest, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Look at that. So when the dogs are well walked, exercised, stimulated, belly's full with food, they generally sleep for the rest of the day, and that's a happy sanctuary. Oh!
Brittany. You see, that's where Brittany just lets herself down sometimes. Don't you, Brittany?
What are you doing attacking this big boy?
So One of the main parts of the day is always walking the dogs. It takes up a massive amount of time. There's obviously 16 dogs, but luckily Lana, my good friend, is a personal trainer, so there's nobody better to be walking dogs than you.
Yeah, it's great fun for the dogs, also great for me. We love to get about 15 to 20k steps a day for myself, so luckily these guys get a good workout.
It's like a pet at home. They get a bit restless if they haven't been for a walk. So,
yeah.
So I'm gonna just go and get a drink and cool down and let you do all the walk and the steps. Enjoy yourself.
All right, come on Stitch, let's go. Come on.
So the reason why we actually have a shelter in the first place is there's so many dogs on the streets of Thailand. Good example is little Solo here, who's not so little anymore. She was a tiny little puppy who was abandoned on the streets. She was covered in ticks, covered in fleas. Basically, she wouldn't have survived. She was dumped without a mother. Luckily, we found her. Somebody gave us a call. She came in. But what we do is we don't collect street dogs here. We don't want to have hundreds of sick dogs here with no future. So we both vaccinate them and sterilize them, which is really important. And then we try and find them homes. Little Solo here is heading off to Belgium very soon. So the sanctuary is a lovely safe place for them all to call home for a short amount of time. Now, one of the big questions is why are some dogs on the leads and some dogs not? Well, Hank is a good example. He doesn't really need to be on the lead, but sometimes he might get distracted, sometimes not. Hanky, come on, Hank! Come on! Come back, Hank! Hank! We're not finished yet, Hank! Come on! I know where Hank's going. He's going to the treat jar because he knows where it's at, so we'll go and catch him there. So one of the big things about the sanctuary itself is all the nitty-gritty stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and that's what actually takes up a lot of time. This, for example, is fresh water. We're obviously in the middle of the jungle. There's no water here whatsoever. So what we had to do was drill a deep well. That went down 150 feet down below the water, so the water can come up and it fills up these tanks. Now, the tanks don't fill themselves. They need electricity, so we put solar panels in on top of the roofs, and that means that we're completely off the grid. So there is no electricity here. There's no water. It all comes through the solar panels and down through the well. So that's really important, being off the grid. That means we can do things like have our medicines in the fridge. Lana here, there's always washing. Dogs are like babies, so there's always washing to do. We also have all the food that goes out to the street dogs and that we feed the dogs here with. Lovely fresh waters for everybody on the land. And then there's a bunch of stuff for P-Wood, who's our handyman. There's always water leaks, there's stuff broken, there's things to fix. And then over here, we have also rubbish which needs to get taken off the land and sorted, because there's obviously no deliveries or facilities here at the land. Everything needs to go. Absolutely. All those squats. So Cindy's just back from the vet. She's got all her tests. Now we have to wait 24 hours for our test results. She's jumped straight into the most obvious place for a dog to be cool on a day like this, which is under the car. We'll give her a few treats though, not too many because we're watching her weight, but a very important part. It would obviously be lovely if we had the vets here and a hospital, which is the future plans. But for now, Jules, who drove her there today, there's a lot of vet trips back and forward. So a lot of our days are spent either waiting in vets, getting medicines, or driving to and from the vets. But Cindy has had all the treatment and tests that she needs now today, and she'll be back in her office resting up very soon.
Cindy, good girl.
I often think that Thailand's one of the most dangerous countries. I mean, there are so many random things here that can hurt dogs and humans. So in the long grass, snakes. There's definitely snakes here, little green ones which are not too bad, but we have seen cobras, we've seen big snakes. So we protect the dogs as well as we can. There's also, you wouldn't believe it, but coconut trees, really, really dangerous. So there's a man coming in tomorrow with his team to remove all the coconuts, because when they whack into the ground, they could do serious damage to A, a dog, or B, to one of us on our heads. And then there's other dangers. There's the really hot weather. So when it it gets really hot, we have fans in there for the dogs. The dogs are pretty good at finding shade as well, but we need to help them find places and not keep them in really hot confined areas. And then there's obviously the rain. We're battling the monsoon at the moment. So the good news is I often think that the dogs are a little bit better protected than us humans. We're out there getting drenched. The dogs have lovely covered areas and we're set up for the monsoon. But there are dangers everywhere, unfortunately, which we're constantly battling. He headbutted me. He's too excited.
Good boy.
He's not the hammock dog.
Oh, I love her so much.
Now, it's the end of the day at the sanctuary. I'm not going to lie to you, it does take it out of you. People think that you spend most of your time with the dogs just like this, and it's very unusual, but it's important every day to take 10 minutes. This is little Nicole Kidman. She's a very nervous dog, and not all the dogs do brilliantly here because it's a loud environment. There's 15 other dogs. At the end of the day, all dogs are better off in a home, especially her. She would love a home, and she's got very good news. She's just got one. So we work very hard on trying to find dogs perfect homes, which is not easy, and we're never going to rehome all the street dogs. But you can see, although we do everything for them here, from food to medicines, you can see that once they go off and get their own little forever home, they just change into perfect little dogs of bundles of happiness. So this is a great stepping stone, and we do everything to make it the best place possible here at Happy Doggerland, but ultimately it's a stepping stone to a forever home. Isn't that right? Come on, Mr. Buster, it's time for bed. It's time for bed, everybody. Come on, Solo. Come on, in we go. Number one, there you go, look. Oh, come on, number two. Come on. In we go, Solo. Or, in we go. In we go, Mr. Buster. There we go. So that's it for the day at Happy Doggerland. I'm looking out for coconuts falling on my head, maybe snakes coming in. All the dogs are nicely fixed up as best as we can for the day. They're nearly ready to go to sleep, and I am done. It's absolutely shattering, but it's also very rewarding because you do feel like you're changing dogs' lives. If you want to help us, you can always hit the subscribe button down below, which is a massive help. I'm off to go and lay down and try and rest now a little bit.